If your website doesn't lay out content for these LLMs to form the opinion about you, then you're not even going to be included when users are searching and researching these information. So that process of packaging the content the way the LLMs like to digest content and having the right information, that's AI SEO.
Welcome to the Raw Spotlight Podcast, a series where we share our perspective on leadership, entrepreneurship, and the ever-evolving world of digital marketing. I'm Emily Au, co-founder of Ready Artwork, joined by my business partner, Victor Huynh. Let's get started with the show. Hi, everyone. So we're back today, and we have a topic that's a buzzword right now. And this topic is AI SEO. But don't worry, I know within AI SEO, there's a lot of terms that's being coined. So we're going to try to break it down today and to you and to show you what really matters for your business. Victor, I have you here. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk about AI SEO. So what exactly is it? And I know that there's it's also as known as AEO as well as GEO. What is all of this, Victor?
Okay, so it's a relatively new thing. And when I say new, probably a year or less, right? As everyone is probably aware, the explosion of AI, it's all over the news. And how is it impacting us, right? Everyone's using ChatGPT. Everyone knows that one. That one's probably the biggest front runner. There's Claude. There's a bunch of other, what we call LLMs, right? If you're not aware and you don't know what the word LLM is, it's large language model. So it's basically the framework of all these AI platforms are built on, right? It's large language model. So LLM, that's an important keyword. So what is AI SEO? So, and the reason why we adopted the word AI SEO, there's a lot of camps out there, is because we have been doing a lot of SEO, search engine optimization, for a long time. So for our clients to kind of wrap their heads around what is AI SEO, it's basically the same concept as SEO. You're optimizing something, but it's in the AI world,
Right.
right? So, it for us, it made sense. It was easy for people to kind of bridge that understanding. Obviously, there's a lot of different terminology floating around. We're still so early that there's still a battle to see who's the winner, right? There's AEO, which is answer engine optimization. There's GEO, which is generative engine optimization. Generative, like they kind of put the intelligence piece kind of in the back burner, so it's GEO, right? There is also a current move to kind of make these all relevant and have them represent different parts of digital marketing. But as of now, I would say it's pretty safe to say they're being used interchangeably. So what might be GEO to one person is also AI SEO to another, or AEO to another, right? So I would say most people are not sophisticated enough to know the little nuanced differences between AEO, GEO, and AI SEO, right? So it's fairly safe to say if you hear someone's doing AEO, GEO, or AI SEO, that they're all referring to the same thing currently, right? So it's a process of optimizing AI platforms, LLMs, or at least optimizing your brand online so that these LLMs can form a positive opinion about your brand, right? So in simple terms, like how do people find you? We're starting to see a lot of people finding businesses and finding stuff on ChatGPT, on Claude, on different platforms like that, right?
Okay.
So there's a demand there. Yeah.
Okay. So assuming we're just gonna, for the purpose of this conversation, we're just gonna coin everything and call it AI SEO, right? So what really is the difference between AI SEO versus regular SEO?
Okay, that's a pretty simple one, right? So SEO, just so that everyone is aware, for the most part, we're referring to Google, because Google owns the lion's share of the market when it comes to search, right? Search engines. So there's Google, there's Yahoo, there's Bing, right? Those are the big ones. There's some smaller ones as well. We won't get into all the tiny little ones. But what you're trying to do for the most part is you're trying to make sure that your website shows up on the search result based on keywords. So if you're selling, like for us, we are in the B2B space. So we have clients that are selling very specific products, right? For applications that another business might buy from them. So an engineering product or a piece of machinery, right? That does something specific. You could just say like water filters, like commercial reverse osmosis machines for certain applications, right? So, and then someone will search that specific term, and they would find the website on the search result, and then they would go in there. And then from there, you want to make sure that you convert those to leads so that the customers can reach out to them and generate a sales. So, and then that's a short version of SEO and the purpose. Now, for AI SEO, the user behavior is a little bit different, right? So for the most part, when people are searching on Google or search engines, we think about long tail keywords. I'm throwing a lot of technical terms out. Long tail keywords are like what I just described, like maybe three word phrases, right? It's pretty common. Now, that's what people will type in the browser. Now, with AI now, people are having full-on conversations, right? So the average search as of recent knowledge is 25 words. So literally a user would go onto ChatGPT and type in, I am a construction company and I'm looking for filtered water that does this many gallons per hour, right? It's very specific. And then the AI LLM would come back and go, okay, Bill, based on what you're looking for in your application, these are your top choices. And usually this is another phenomenon. It results in a 0-click situation, right? Customers will be like, oh, okay, thank you. They asked the question and they answered, and then they say, I'm done, goodbye. They move on, right? So out of those large amounts of searches, there are going to be a small percentage of those that are going to come back and go, oh, okay, thanks for the information. So who are the ones that are local to me, or who are the ones that might be the best choice, right? And then the LM will go through again, okay, and go, based on that, here's your pros and cons, and here's your top 3 choices, or here's your top 10 choices. And then they will start looking at it and go, okay, well, can you they'll give it more context, right? Called prompting. They give it more context. This might go on like a couple of times before now they have an understanding, well, this is the company that's the best fit for me. This is where they're located. They have this many employees and they've worked with these types of clients, right? They've extracted all this information. So by the time they actually get that link to click to your website, they are more informed about it, about your brand and your product and your offering and about your company than a Google user that just typed in 3 keywords and got to your website. Right. So the intent is a lot higher. The value of that user is a lot higher, although the amount of traffic is a lot lower because of that filter that I just explained. The chances of them actually reaching out and filling out the form is a lot higher because they've already formed an opinion that you are the best fit for them by the time they got into there.
Right. So they formed the opinion before they even landed on your site.
Correct. The opinion happens on the LLM platform before they get to your website versus traditional SEO. You're getting them to know just enough information so that they come to your website to form that opinion. So where that opinion happens is very different now. And so although you don't have the volume yet, you have the intent, which is really high, right? And so if your website doesn't lay out content for these LLMs to form the opinion about you, then you're not even going to be included when users are searching and researching these information, right? So that process of packaging the content the way the LLMs like to digest content and having the right information, that's AI SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So as a B2B business, why should I care about SEO right now or AI SEO?
Well, especially for B2B, because in B2B, typically there are higher ticket items.
Mm-hmm.
They're not impulse buys. Like you're
Longer
not
sales
trying
cycle.
to run a Black Friday deal for 50% off on something that someone's gonna gift to their relative or their friend,
Right.
right? They're typically selling something pretty high valued that solves a very specific problem, and that requires a lot of research,
Mm-hmm.
right? So LLMs are going to help you form that opinion, like what we were just talking about, so that by the time people come to your website, they're pretty much ready to have that next conversation. Like whether it's a demo or whether it's like, hey, I want to kind of understand more about how your process works and how your sales process works and payments and all these other things, right? So it's really that much more important for B2B businesses to have AI SEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Victor, do you have like maybe a use case or a case study from any of our clients that we can share here with AI SEO?
Mm, yeah, I think for AI SEO, are running um, a few clients are actually using it right now. Um, I would say we are able to measure that the intent is really high by
Mhm.
looking at the conversion rates. So the clients that we're running on, in general, there's a few things, right? The users that are coming from AI, they're staying on much longer. So we measure time on site,
Yeah.
right? So typically, anything above a minute or two is pretty decent when it comes to Google traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing time on sites like 4, 6, 7 minutes, some even 10 minutes, right, for users.
Mm-hmm.
And then conversion rates are kind of night and day compared to Google traffic,
Right,
right?
right. We saw a lot of key events that's
Mhm.
coming. If you're measuring events and key
Right.
events, we're seeing that AI traffic coming to the website, they're a lot more engaged. They're doing a lot more, whether
Mhm.
it be submitting a form as a key event or downloading valuable documentation.
Right. Right. And the key events you're talking about, like a white paper or a technical paper on PDF, like
Mhm.
people are not gonna download like a dry white paper about your products or about your solution if they're not already like lower on the funnel, right?
Right.
If they're already not invested, no one's gonna want to read through that boring engineering stuff. But because we're seeing a huge uptick in these downloads of these white papers and technical papers, we know that people are engaged,
Mhm.
right? They're forming a good opinion about the brands. So I would say that's a good start because AI SEO is so new, like compared to SEO. Like some of these clients have been on board with us for like 5, 6 years already, and they've got a reliable pipeline and everything's going. But we're now tacking on that AI piece of it,
Mhm.
and we're seeing a huge increase in terms of the ROI, right? There's a lot of changes, but that's a lot of the stuff we're seeing, and it's pretty common across the board.
Okay. Last question, Victor. Want to talk about maybe limitations and misconceptions about AI SEO. Is AI SEO a silver bullet? And are there things that I can't do?
No, it's definitely not a silver bullet. So I think this is not just AI SEO. I think this is SEO and marketing in general, even social media and all these other platforms, right? So they amplify what you are, who you are as a brand. So if you don't have a good product or you don't solve an important solution, right, problem, um, you know, it amplifies that.
Mhm.
Right. So with AI, what you're doing is you're putting out your best foot and you're letting more and more people learn about you. Right. So at the end of the day, you still really need to have a good product, good customer service, and have all your ducks in a row. This is just going to help you get out further and educate people a lot more efficiently.
Mhm. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Thanks, Victor. So if you're listening and wondering whether if AI SEO is just a trend, it's not. It's a tool, just like any other tool. It's all about how you use it for your digital strategy. Thanks for breaking it down, Victor.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, to all of our listeners, if you're running B2B business or managing your digital strategy and you want help with your AI SEO strategies, check us out at readyourwork.com. From site structure to content to SEO, we're here to help you and we can get your organization discoverable. Subscribe to the Raw Spotlight, share this episode, or let us know if there are any topics that you want to hear next. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Raw Spotlight podcast. We'll see you again next time. And be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.